All right. Harriet, this is Shereen. I believe you're ready to go.
Okay, I got kicked out again by construction. I don't know. Hopefully it won't be too bad.
We'll have Dave ready.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, because it's just right outside my window here and I can feel the whole thing shaking. I thought we were having an earthquake. Okay, so let's see, where am I? All right. So good morning, everyone. This is Harriet Parker, and I would like to call the November 1st, 2023 meeting of the Nevada Tribal Emergency Coordinating Council to order. Shereen, will you conduct the roll call, please?
Yes. Harriet Parker.
Present.
Sukaki Charlie. Jackie Conway.
Present.
Dwayne Masters Sr. Don Pelt. Marianne Perez. Here. Kenneth Coiner.
Here.
Ross Rivera.
Here.
Daniel Thayer.
Here.
Dave Fogerson.
Here.
Emily Gould.
This is Faith Beekman, representing Emily today.
Thank you, Faith. You have quorum.
Thank you, Shereen. I appreciate it. And I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to participate today. As a friendly reminder, please double check that your microphone is on mute unless you are actively speaking. Also, when speaking, please identify yourself before you speak in order to assist the staff with minutes. With that, I will close out agenda item number 1 and move on to agenda item number 2. This is public comment. This is for discussion only. No action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item of the agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included on the agenda as an item upon which action may be taken. Public comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person at the discretion of the co-chairs. Comments will not be restricted based on viewpoint. To provide testimony during this period of public comment via telephone, please call in anytime after 8:30 on the day of the meeting by dialing 1-669-219-2599, and when prompted to provide the meeting ID, please enter 686-738-8625 and then press pound. When prompted for the participation ID, please press pound. When asked to provide public comment, please press *6 to unmute your phone and *6 again when your comments are complete. Please be advised that the YouTube stream will be between 60 and 90 seconds behind the live meeting. So if you'd like to present public comment, please call in using the number I just gave to hear the meeting live. Is that okay? Did I do that right?
You did, Harriet.
Great job. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. And so while we wait for the lag time to catch up, would anyone like to provide a public comment there in Carson City?
Oh, I will. Jim Lope from Nevada Threat Analysis Center. I'm the Fusion Liaison Coordinator. And I just wanted to remind all of the tribal members in this meeting that we do provide free training to all of the tribes, including but not limited to active shooter training, Fusion Liaison training, which hooks or provides a bridge, if you will, with the tribes via our flyers and our products through the Nevada Threat Analysis Center. We also do a variety of other training. If anyone's interested, please email me at jlopedy@dps.state.nv.us. And we'll be happy to talk to you about coming out and providing whatever you might need. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that reminder. And I really appreciate the presentation you did at our last meeting. That was very informative. When you have a second, are you able to put your contact information in the chat?
Harriet, this is Shereen Whipple for the record. I will send it out to the group.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Are there any other comments there in Carson City? How about on the phone? Are there any comments, public comments on the phone? Okay, hearing none. Are we all clear as far as YouTube?
Harriet, this is Shereen Whipple for the record. We're clear there, and we also don't have any written comments.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. With that, we'll close out agenda item number 2 and move on to agenda item number 3. This is the approval of minutes. This is for discussion and possible action. The NTECC will review and discuss the minutes of the August 8th, 2023 NTECC meeting. The NTECC will determine whether to approve the meeting minutes. You all should have received a copy of the draft minutes from that meeting. And thank you to Ms. Whipple and all the staff that worked to put that together. Members, if you'll please review, and then when you're ready, if you can note any edits that need to be made, please. And Shereen, for the record, I don't know, I guess it's the autocorrect is constantly auto-correcting my name on the minutes. So
I
on
will
the
correct those.
perfect, thank you. It's correct on the front page under the roll call, but after that it's not.
I apologize for that.
No problem. Any other edits or comments on the minutes? Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections?
In point for the record, move to approve the August 8th, 2023 minutes.
Marianne Perez will second it.
Perfect, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. All those opposed say no.
Aye.
All right, well, motion passes. And with that, we'll close out agenda item number 3 and we'll move on to agenda item number 4. This is the cybersecurity task force update. This is for discussion only, provided by Tim Robb, the governor liaison. The NTECC will hear a briefing on the cybersecurity task force meeting that was held on September 14th. Mr. Robb, I'll hand it over to you, sir.
And Co-Chair Parker, I'm going to take that one on for Tim. He's actually on his first vacation since 2019.
What?
He can't be here today with us, fortunately.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you. So the last cybersecurity task force meeting, all the grant monies that were available for the previous year and the current year were allocated out. And the committee, the task force made recommendations to the state administrative agent to move forward with those, which the division is doing so. And also, or DHS and CISA released a tribal grant that we will talk about on cybersecurity, specifically for the tribes, and we'll talk about that on agenda item number 13B. At the task force, we also reviewed the state cybersecurity plan and ensured it was in compliance with all the CISA and DHS requirements. Any report, any questions, ma'am?
Thank you, Chief. Are there any questions from the members for Chief Fogerson? Okay, hearing none. Thank you for that, sir. We'll close out agenda item number 4 and move on to agenda item number 5. This is the report on the Nevada Operations Center activations. This is for discussion only, provided by co-chair David Fogerson. The NTECC will be briefed on the Nevada Operations Center responses to the atmospheric river, Kinder Morgan pipeline disruption, the spring thaw, Hurricane Hillary, and the Clark County monsoon flooding. Chief, I turn it back to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Just wanted to make sure we highlight the increasing frequency and impact of the disasters we've been having here in Nevada this year. We've activated the duty officer status for the Emergency Operations Center 9 times since the start of the year. And a lot of these have all involved you guys in these processes too, by sending out our liaisons of Josie, or from FEMA with Crystal, or with Jay, or now Mason, through these processes to make sure that we have good communication back and forth. These disasters have ranged from small scale things such as the Burning Man issue, where everyone was up in arms as more of a social media concern that those people be trapped out there and would never be able to come home, to a hurricane that hit the state, to that spring thaw that lasted 4 months for us. And so those disasters are affecting you as the emergency managers and us as the state emergency managers to support you. So we're fighting with, I wouldn't say we're fighting, we're lobbying and we're supporting with our congressional delegation, trying to raise awareness of the amount of work that is now on the emergency manager. We've talked about this before. Pre-COVID, no one knew what an emergency manager did besides get grant money. Now, post-COVID, everyone knows what emergency managers do. And we're expected to have that higher level. And so we've been talking to congressional delegations, always talking to them every incident we have about who's engaged in this incident, who's involved in this incident, and that it is all supported through federal grant funds. And we need to increase those federal grant funds if we want to continue these processes as things continue to get more expensive. So more than welcome any questions on any of the different disasters that we've had that everyone knows about, and welcome any feedback either in the meeting or offline to our tribal liaisons or to Rodney as the EOC manager, to have discussions about how we can do better and make the process work. We've had a little bit of experience, so we've tried some different things each time to try to see where we can fine tune the process, and always open for ideas about how we do better. In a report, any questions or comments, ma'am?
Thank you, Chief. Are there any further questions from the members?
Ken Coyne for the record. I must have missed it. The Kinder Morgan pipeline disruption. Can you expand on that one?
Absolutely. Kinder Morgan pipeline disruption was in February, right around Valentine's Day, and it was in southern Nevada. At the Cajon Pass, there's a pipeline issue, and so they had to turn the pipeline off. And so then we had a fuel shortage issue that was pending in Las Vegas. And we had to deal with all the things that you would think about coming with a fuel shortage issue, like price gouging. You had to get the Attorney General's office involved to produce a messaging that that's illegal and you can't do that. Along with making plans on how do we make sure that everyone had fuel. And we've had some follow-up meetings, both at the governor's office with the Kinder Morgan Corporation and us with the Kinder Morgan Corporation, about how do we improve that process. Clark County is working on a updated fuel shortage plan to make sure that all the partners are engaged in that process. And this is one of our big concerns, is we have that big earthquake. You know, we might not have that much damage in Nevada from it, but that earthquake could shut off that pipeline to Cajon Pass, and then we have limited fuel and you can't move fuel via trucks. It's how do we get it here? How do we do that process? We do have a new governor's office of energy director. He comes from the propane, or not the propane, but the liquefied fuels industry, and has some good graphs on this. So he's engaged heavily with the discussion and is actually coming to a bunch of meetings so we continue to talk about this and bring it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough time. Luckily, it didn't last very long. Any other questions for Chief? at this time? Okay, thank you, Chief, for that report. I appreciate it. With that, we will close out agenda item number 5, and we'll move on to agenda item number 6. This is the regional preparedness workshops. This is for discussion only, provided by Bill Elliott. Mr. Elliott will review the Regional Preparedness Committee workshop events that were held in Elko, Carson City, and Las Vegas. Mr. Elliott will solicit the NTECC for input from those who attended. Mr. Elliott, I turn the floor over to you, sir.
Bobby, right for the record, I will be filling in for Mr. Elliott today. He was not able to be here with us. Wanted to just say thank you for everyone who participated in the regional workshops. We started at the last week of September out in Elko. The next week we went down to Southern Nevada out of Las Vegas, and then the following week after that we ended up here in Carson City. We get a lot of good feedback from the regions that they like it when we come out to them instead of having just one where we're here in Carson City. Those that can make it come and the other ones have to go online. It really works for us because we get that face-to-face time with the members in the region, and we get a lot of good feedback being there in person. So I wanted to thank all the tribal members that did come to the workshops, and we've taken down some of your requests and some of your information. We should have a rough draft report by our contractor on the Thyra by the end of December. There was emails that had gone out to the members in the region to review the rough draft of the notes that he obtained from the threats, hazards, and risk assessment sessions that we did on the first and second days. And for those that have any comment and feedback, there is November 10th and November 10th for the Elko and Carson City regions, and then the end of November, as he was late getting it out, for the Southern Nevada region for feedback on the Thyra notes that he had made. With that, we are starting our planning process for next year's regional workshop. So if there's any feedback or any changes or things that you would like to see us do next year, I'll open it to the members to give us any suggestions, or you're more than welcome to reach out to me through my email or any of us here at DEM, and we can make sure that we try to incorporate those into the next regional workshops. So with that, I'll open it up to the floor for any questions.
Ma'am, Dave Fogerson, I got just a couple more items for you. Could indulge?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, sir.
So this year we brought the American Red Cross with us to each of the regional workshops. We always bring our health and human services partners and public health preparedness, and they came to each of the regional workshops with us. And then we brought Office of Cyber Defense Coordination with us, and OCDC's the state entity responsible for helping you guys, tribes, the local governments, school districts, everyone besides the executive branch of government in cybersecurity. And so we had some good discussions on that cyber mission and what do we really mean by that consequence management piece, and how do we keep people safe in that world with having true cyber professionals with us. Next year, we're already getting some feedback from other state agencies that want to come with us too. And so it's growing in popularity because I think people are realizing that it works when we come see you. So I'd love to hear any feedback anybody has and how we can make the process better. So that way we're not just talking to you, but we're interacting with you guys in these regional workshops. The nice thing about the regional workshops is it's not a public meeting, so you can have free and flowing conversation as opposed to these public meetings where everyone kind of feels a little off, but want to really speak honestly at times. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. You're right. The Red Cross was there, but I also wanted to ask, how was the tribal participation at the other the workshops in Northern Nevada? Is there a lot of tribal participation?
I did a count on the attendance sheets. There were 8 tribal nations overall that participated in all of the regional workshops. I think off the top of my head, there was 2 in the Elko region. There, I only saw the one there in the Southern Nevada. If there was another one that it might have been missed on the online count, and then the rest were here in the Carson City region workshop.
Nice, thank you. Is that better than last year? Do we know?
I would have to look at the list last year, and we could get that information back to you, ma'am.
I appreciate it. I was just curious. I think it's a great opportunity to get everyone together, and like Mr. Wright mentioned, that coming to us is a big help. So I appreciate that. Are there any other questions or comments for Mr. Wright? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, sir, and also to Chief for that update. We'll close out agenda item number 6 and we'll move on to agenda item number 7. This is the discussion on the status of the DEMHS efforts to assist our tribal nations. This is for discussion only, provided by co-chair David Fogerson. DEMHS is interested in hearing feedback on the status of the programs as they relate to tribal nation protection, prevention, response, mitigation, and recovery efforts for emergency management, homeland security, and public health preparedness. The NTECC members are encouraged to discuss ways that DEMHS can improve its efforts to better support their needs. Co-chair Fogerson will solicit input from individual NTECC members on possible tribal representatives to serve on the NTECC. Chief, I'll hand it over to you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. Like we do every meeting, just an open forum. So if anybody has any feedback on how we're doing to assist the entire enterprise of Homeland Security and Emergency Management across the realm of the different levels of government we have, we want to make sure we're open and honest in communicating. Our staff, as always, knows my 2 questions I always want them to ask when they see our partners. What are we doing that we should not be doing? And what are we not doing that we should be doing? So any feedback that you guys have on how our efforts are helping or hindering your process so we can make adjustments to better meet your needs is very well appreciated. And then also, if any other new emergency managers, I know we have Dean Hennessy from Moapa, so maybe we can get some additional members on this committee to represent some of the additional tribes in Nevada, looking for ones that you guys all know that are good emergency managers and can make the quarterly meeting so we can make sure we're involved and engaged in the discussions together. So with that, I'll open it up to see if anybody has any input on what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, or if you've got somebody that you think we should reach out to add them to this group.
Daniel Fair, Reno Spartan and Colony. As we all know, we're going to go under new chairmanship for Reno Spartan and Colony. You know, our current chairman, Arlen Melendez, is stepping down. So he's been a chairman for the past 32 years. Wow. And I think it's important that DEM be transparent to our tribe, as we will be under new leadership and possible new council people, so that they're aware of what DEM can also provide in assisting us. You know, we all just went through COVID. That was a learning lesson for many of us. But I think it's important that our tribal leadership be aware of what DEM has to offer also.
Thank you, Danny. And anything we do with, once you get the new chairman on, we can come meet him with the tribal liaisons, myself, or we can do a tribal meeting to have that discussion in a public forum. However, we can support you. We're here for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Banuelos, I see you have your hand up. Do you have a comment for us, sir?
Yeah, for the record, Clifford Banuelos, Intertribal Council, Nevada. Yeah, I'd like, if you can send me information regarding this group, and I would like to be involved based on my years of experience as emergency manager and also working with state and federal agencies. I'd like to get more information and see if I can be involved with it.
And Clifford, you are from ITCN standpoint as reporting out, but the NRS states that it's the membership is limited to someone that represents a tribal nation, a specific tribal nation.
I do represent my tribe on a couple committees. It requires a nomination form from the tribe itself. Is that a possibility where they could nominate me to represent them as a designee?
Absolutely. If the tribal chairperson wants you as that tribal representative, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, so if you can send that information to me, I represent the Elko Band Council on a couple committees. So
Okay.
If you can send that to me.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from any of the other tribes that are on?
Take one for the record, just wanted to say, do a shout out for our liaisons. I think they're doing an awesome job. I mean, Josie yesterday reminding me about this meeting, which had slipped my mind temporarily. And so it's awesome to have. And I just want to say they need to be patted on the back once in a while.
Yes, they do. Thank you.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know what I would do without them. Any other comments or questions?
This is Dean Hennessy with Moapa River. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I just want to say thank you all for sending me the invite to this. A lot of this is going to be kind of new to me coming to represent the tribal nations itself, but I'm going to be leaning heavy on some of your liaisons, and probably poor Harriet's going to get sick of hearing my emails or seeing me. But I just want to try to get together, as the one individual said there, be as transparent as we can, and then try to get as much aid and work done as we can for, I know specifically for mine, Moapa River there itself. So I am going to thank you all in advance for putting up with me, because it's coming.
Well, I can't tell you, I'm so excited that you guys are on listening and participating. I can't tell you how many times I've reached out to Moapa over the years, and I know there were some changes, and so it's just refreshing, and I'm so happy that Moapa is part of it. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Well, thank you much. I don't know where the ball got dropped before. I'll give you a little bit of my background. I came from Las Vegas Metro Police, where I was on the MACTAC section. It's the Multi-Assault Counterterrorism Action Capabilities section. So we did all the training for anything active shooter, terrorist related. Did a lot of work with our counterterrorism and intelligence group, things like that. So when I came out here, it was real nice to step into this. I worked a lot with our EM through Metro itself. So there are things that I am pretty comfortable with, and there are things that I am just learning, especially when it starts coming to the feds and how the tribal nations work and how their grants work.
Yes, sir. And like I said, anything I can do to help, please feel free to reach out to me. I think you've already met the tribal liaisons. If not in person, then at least through email, and they are a huge help. So definitely feel free to lean on me for sure, and them as well, because they're very helpful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing no further. Thank you, Chief, for the report, and everyone for your comments. I appreciate it. With that, we'll close out agenda item number 7, and we'll move on to agenda item number 8. This is an update on tribal health preparedness efforts. This is for discussion only. provided by Faith Beekman, the Health Emergency Preparedness Evaluator. Ms. Beekman will update the NTECC on the Division of Public and Behavioral Health Preparedness Efforts. Ms. Beekman, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you so much. Emily Gold says hello. She is getting married this weekend, so I am just providing her updates. So just a few here. RSV season and flu are here, or RSV, I joined a webinar last week. They said it's about a month out. COVID-19 cases have increased by 45% mostly in Southern Nevada, which is considerably low compared to last season. And then CDC surveillance models are predicting higher rates of flu and RSV season, just so you guys are aware and are prepared. PHP, we also participated recently in the CSI anthrax full-scale exercise with Southern Nevada Health District. I believe that was last month in preparation for the Super Bowl in February in Las Vegas. Also, a few of you guys already mentioned, we participated in the Nevada fall preparedness workshops in each region, and we are able to discuss plans on building a potential decon trailer. And then lastly, we are beginning our 5-year strategic planning efforts, and we'll have further updates and contacts for input very soon. I believe that is it, unless anybody has questions.
Thank you so much for that report. Are there any questions for Ms. Beekman? Well, thank you for that report, and you'll have to, if you talk with Ms. Gould, you'll have to tell her congratulations for us. She's getting married this weekend. I'm getting married next weekend, so it's pretty stressful time. So that's awesome. So thank you for that. And with that, we'll close out agenda item number 8, and we'll move on to agenda item number 9. This is an update from the Intertribal Council of Nevada. This is for discussion only, provided by Clifford Banuelos, the Tribal State Environmental Liaison for ITCN. Mr. Banuelos will provide the NTECC with an update of ITCN activities related to the support of tribal emergency management and health clinics. Mr. Banuelos, I hand it over to you, sir.
Well, I don't have anything on health clinics. I think that was directed toward COVID-related activities, which we've kind of tailed off on. But I did want to update on the, I talked about, or in my report, 2 to 3 day Ezra ArcGIS Pro training. That the conference, the ITCN conference, has been moved, though not from spring, but until late July, mid-August. We still waiting for the bids to get approved, to decide on the bids. But so our conference will most likely be in Reno late summer, and that's when the Ezra ArcGIS Pro certified training will occur. And I do think it relates to emergency management, because I was noticing regarding the flooding, determining impact is difficult to do if we don't map what's been damaged. And so estimates could have been off. So I really think it's vital that the tribes coordinate get this training, and then also ongoing training, and then how they're going to store the data. That's something I'm working on here, where ITCN will store the data for some low capacity tribes. But that's it. That's really the only update I have from ITCN.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate that report. Are there any questions from the members? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Banuelos, for that. And we will close out agenda item number 9, and we'll move on to agenda item number 10. This is an update from the Nevada Indian Commission. This is for discussion only, presented by Stacy Montooth. Ms. Montooth will provide NTECC with an update of the Nevada Indian Commission activities related to the support of tribal emergency management and health clinics. Director Montooth, I will turn it over to you. Is she here?
I don't see her, Harriet.
I don't either.
Hi, this is Serena Nez with the Nevada Indian Commission. I apologize. I've been sick and Stacy is not available right this morning, but we do not have an update at this time. We will provide anything we do get as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nez. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so we'll close agenda item number 10 and we'll move on to agenda item number 11. This is the Nevada Public Bodies Updates. This is for discussion only, provided by tribal representatives appointed to the following Nevada public bodies. And they may provide an update on their role with each public body, as well as initiatives and projects that impact Nevada tribes. First up, we have the Nevada Resilience Advisory Committee, provided by co-chair David Fogerson. Chief, I hand it over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. The last Interact meeting we had, I believe, was 2 weeks ago, and the agenda, we're trying to keep fairly consistent between NTECC and Interact, and the only changes is just where we look at some of the Interact is looking at the entire Homeland Security Emergency Management enterprise of public health, law enforcement, the fusion centers, emergency management, local, tribal, state, federal agencies all engaged there. And here we're trying to keep the similar agendas, but change it so that way the focus is specifically how does that enterprise interact and help our tribal nations. So the only thing that was on the Interact agenda that we didn't put on this one was a discussion about the Homeland Security Threat Assessment that was done by the Department of Homeland Security. And I can forward that out to everyone so that way you can take a look at it. It's an unclassified document. But we had a discussion, or I guess I led a diatribe about making sure we don't lose the failure to imagine. And we don't want to have a repeat of 9/11, but we also don't want to have a repeat of October, the main shootings, all those incidents. That failure to imagine is what we got to consider. And you think about the Bain incident, you know, 1 October, who would have thought somebody in a hotel room above would have been shooting down at a concert? You look at Maine, who would have thought about going in a bowling alley and doing a shooting there? We look at Israel and Hamas, who would have thought about active assailants on hang gliders and small aircraft that is powered by gasoline motors coming into a concert venue. So also make sure that we send out that threat assessment so that way everyone has a chance to look at it. We want to continue to make sure that we're monitoring and keeping abreast so we don't lose that failure to imagine here and have something sneak up on us that we didn't expect. Any report, ma'am?
Very good points. Thank you, sir. Any questions from the members regarding Chief's report? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to 11B, which is the Nevada Commission on Homeland Security. I mentioned I'm having trouble. We're having a lot of construction and I lost some of my notes, but I will report on what I do have. And Chief has graciously offered to cover me on anything I might miss. So let me read what I have here. Our last meeting was September 7th. And as part of the discussions that were held was the discussion on cybersecurity efforts within Nevada. Chief Fogerson has explained that through the cybersecurity task force, there is now a state cybersecurity plan that has been approved by CISA, and DEM is currently working to implement that, which helps to drive the grant process. He also discussed the outreach that has taken place, noting that this has helped the cybersecurity landscape to come together and that it combines efforts along with the governor's office, CISA, DEM, the FBI, and the Office of Cyber Defense, and the National Guard, all of whom have a role to play in the landscape. There was also a discussion regarding the Office of Cyber Defense and Coordination, the OCDC. It was explained that the OCDC serves as the state coordinating body for cyber defense, and that its role is to work and partner with all the other state, local, tribal, and territorial entities in the state to serve as cybersecurity resource for research, such as collecting advice and coordinating conversations, and to be a centralized set of resources into which all other entities can tap into. The next discussion was regarding the Nevada Office of Chief Information Officer. That was provided by Bob Denhart. The state chief information officer explained that he has a dual role. One of them is managing the Office of Information Security, which provides operational governance to the executive branch agencies, and also chairing the State Information Security Committee. Another thing that was discussed was the Office of Military, the Nevada National Guard Joint Cybersecurity Task Force, and that was with General Roger Waters. General Waters informed the commission that the Nevada National Guard continues to move forward with the establishment of a joint cyber task force with a primary focus in the areas of emphasis are cyber intelligence and planning, assessments, as well as defense preparations of state infrastructure in response. General Waters next indicated that the Air Force, that regarding the Air Force, there is a sourcing decision in fiscal year 2025 to possibly make a structure adjustment. And if approved, Nevada will convert one squadron of the 152nd Air Wing to a cyber mission, which will provide approximately 75 positions for that mission, for that cyber mission, and that they are currently being trained in anticipation of that possible mission adjustment. Another thing that was discussed was the, let's see, actually there are a couple things that was discussed that we're also going to report on during this meeting here. So I didn't add them to my report. I didn't want to duplicate everything. Also, there was a discussion regarding the statewide adoption of NIMS. I think that was head by chief. And one of the things that they were talking about was updating the task books. And then also there was a lot of emphasis on the fall workshops and how we can continue those and make those, add to them to make them a little more full of information that we need. Also trying to add additional partners. Another thing that was discussed was the school safety plans. That was, they had let's see, the discussion was, let me see if I can find that really quick. One of the things that they mentioned is that there is the Assembly Bill 43 has a deadline of November 15th to get all of the plans turned in for review and approval. It was mentioned that this is the first time school plans were reviewed by outside entities, and they did this to ensure that the NRS is being followed. DEM indicated that they had reviewed them and submitted their suggestions already. And let's see. And I think that is where I left off. I know there was also discussion on Hurricane Hillary, but I think we're going to talk about that later on our agenda. Was there anything I missed, Chief? that you can help out with?
The only other item is we have had a second Homeland Security meeting since that one, and that was an executive session one that was not a public meeting. Or it had a closed session. It was a public meeting, but within that public meeting, we had a closed session to discuss the Israeli Hamas issue. Make sure all the commission members are up to date on all the unclassified information we had at that time. And that was done at the order of the governor on that first Monday after the event occurred. So that way he could bring everyone up to speed.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Are there any questions regarding the Homeland Security meeting? Any questions for me? Okay, well, thank you. With that, we will move on to agenda item 11C. This is the Nevada Commission on Homeland Security Finance Committee. This is provided by co-chair David Fogerson. Chief, I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thanks, ma'am. And we have not had a meeting of this committee since the last meeting of the NTECC.
Well, that was easy. All right, thank you, Chief. We'll now move on to 11D, which is the Nevada State Emergency Response Commission, provided by Lance Chandler. Mr. Chandler, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, it's Daniel Thayer, Reno Sparks Indian Colony. Lance is unable to attend at this time, but he did give me an update on the CERC. They did have their fourth quarter meeting. This happened last week. The first quarter meeting for 2024 will be scheduled for January. The Opti and United We Stand grants will open in April and May 2024. End of report. That's it. Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Thayer. Any questions from the members? All right, sir, thank you for that. We'll now move on to 11E, which is the Nevada Interstate Mutual Aid Committee, provided by Eric Wilson. Mr. Wilson, I'll hand it over to you, sir.
And ma'am, I'm going to take this one. He's out of the office this morning. And we've not had a meeting of that committee since the last NTECC meeting.
Perfect, thank you, Chief.
Sorry, and I just remembered, we always have to do this spiel. We're always looking, remember NRS 414A says that all local and state government agencies are in the mutual aid system. Tribal entities and those agencies have to opt out of it, which no local government has opted out of it. However, tribal entities have to opt in. And we have, I believe, 5 or 6 tribal nations that have opted into it. And we're always asking for more tribal nations to opt into that program, because that's how we can share more easily share resources during times of disaster, while providing for liability protection and a method for reimbursement of costs through that process. And you can talk to the tribal liaisons if you are interested. It's a simple tribal resolution that we need to add into that list.
Thank you, sir. Any questions regarding the IMAC? Okay, hearing none, thank you to everyone for the updates. We will close out agenda item number 11 and move on to agenda item number 12. This is an update from Federal Emergency Management Region 9. This is for discussion only, provided by Crystal Harjo. Ms. Harjo will provide the NTECC with an overview of FEMA Region 9 all hazards activities and upcoming events. This will include training, tribal partner engagements, tribal consultation opportunities, and outreach activities at the regional and Nevada specific level. Ms. Harjo, I will turn it over to you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I just jumped on the call, in case anyone wasn't aware that I am currently on admin leave, pending a transfer to another federal agency. My position will be backfilled by Vince Martinez in Arizona and or the rest of the team. Today I have Pamela Joe from California who will be giving the brief out. I start my new position with Bureau of Indian Affairs Emergency Management Team next week. So my last day with FEMA is this Friday. So if you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out to Vince, Pamela, or Chris Haynes, who is the Nevada Fit in Carson, and they will be able to assist you up until the point that my position is filled. It was great working with everyone. I'm going to continue to work with everyone, just on a different level. BIA's, revamping their emergency management program, so I'm excited to be a part of that. So thanks everyone for all the good years in Nevada. But with that, I'll turn it over to Pamela Joe. Thanks.
Thank you, Crystal, and good luck on your new job. But anyway, my name is Pamela Joe. I'm the tribal liaison for California, mostly Northern California, but I just wanted to go over a quick overview of what we've been doing in Region 9. We did participate in the thyroid workshop this past month. We also had the Region 9 EPA conference down south. And we did have a couple of tribes that we did the L583 course, emergency management for tribal leaders. And if anybody's interested in that, we are available to bring that class to Nevada. Also, if you want any of the L580 series classes, we can do those too. If you need me to, I can resend those to you. I'm sure Crystal has sent those out already, and I'll put my mine and Vince's information in a chat here in a minute. We also participated in NLE 2024 evaluation workshop. Crystal already mentioned that Vince will be your primary for Nevada until that position is filled. But you can reach out to any of the tribal liaisons. I did want to mention that next June we'll be having our tribal partnership workshop. We do not have a venue yet, but it will be in Southern California. And as soon as we get that information, we will send that out to everyone. We also are going to start our tribal partnership calls starting in January. We've been a little bit busy this year, so those kind of fell off a little bit, but you'll get that invite soon. I did also want to mention that we are going to try to start the site visits the first quarter with all the tribes, so that might be Vince or myself, so we'll reach out to everyone on that. Also just wanted to mention the BRIC and the FMA NOFOs are out, and you can get that information in grants.gov. And the last thing I have is if you have any COVID projects that still need help with, the deadline is November 7th. So if you need an extension, feel free to reach out to myself and Vince, and we can provide that template for you. Other than that, I don't have anything else unless there's any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Joe, for that. Are there any questions from any of the members?
Ma'am, Dave Ferguson.
Yes, sir.
I just want to highlight Crystal. She always underestimates how important she is to all of us. With her work through Nevada, she's done more of building bridges between all of us than anybody else in this landscape. And she's always engaged and always loves to make sure that she's doing a great job, whether it was when she was employed here at the state or when she moved on to FEMA. And I can only imagine how much she's going to be able to help us when she moves into her new position at BIA. So Crystal, on behalf of the governor, on behalf of General Barry, and on behalf of myself, thank you for all you've done for the state of Nevada. You've been a godsend for us. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Dave, and I look forward to continuing any type of work that I will be doing with you guys.
I agree. Thank you, Crystal. I mean, there's been so many times that I've called her and she's always answered and talked me off the ledge and said, just relax, I'll help you. And so I'm very grateful and look forward to working with her still with the BIA. I'm very excited. And wow, I didn't realize it was that soon. So good luck, Crystal. And I can't wait to get your new contact number. I'm sure you'll probably wait to send that to me as long as you can. But no, I appreciate everything that you've done, and thank you so much and best of luck.
Thank you. Absolutely. Once I get that info, hopefully next week, I'll be sending it out to everybody.
Thank you.
Record, will BIA become part of this reporting to the NTECC?
We can see if Crystal has time and her boss will allow her to, so that way we get some information from the BIA emergency management side. That would be a wonderful addition. Crystal, put that on your to-do list when you talk to your new boss, please.
Oh, absolutely. I gotta get my bearings with BIA and find out, exactly what our mission's gonna be. I will be overseeing Pacific and Western, so now that includes Utah and Arizona in my book. So we have a pretty good team. Hopefully once, like I said, I get more familiar, I'll definitely be reaching out to the state agencies and especially the tribes and move forward.
Thank you so much. We definitely look forward to that. Any other questions or comments for either Ms. Harjo or Ms. Joe? Okay, thank you. Hearing none, we'll close out agenda item number 12 and we'll move on to agenda item number 13. This is updates from the DEMHS tribal liaison staff. This is for discussion only, provided by Josie Burnett and Mason Parizo, tribal liaisons with DEM. The NTECC will be given updates on the following topics. I don't know who's going to start. Ms. Burnett, would you like to start us off, please?
Hey, Josie's online. She says good morning, but she's not available to talk. I can start off for her if you would like.
Yes, sir. Please. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. And Josie says good morning as well. So I believe our agenda topics are the CERT trailer and the 2024 cybersecurity grant, specifically for tribal. The CERT trailer is very close to fully operational. We need to still internalize the inner area of the trailer so that we're able to travel with it while everything is stored within it. Hopefully, I know we had a CERT trailer or a CERT training set for Duckwater, but we're gonna have to reschedule that. But yeah, but we will start bringing that around to everyone so that we can start hopefully getting some more CERT training going on and do a little bit more outreach and shore up that much needed resource. I will hopefully it's a little cold right now, but I hopefully will have it all organized and be able to present you all with a very nice array of photos and stuff like that and bring some presentables to the next meeting. As for the 2024 cybersecurity grant, Akeem Patel and I are trying to tailor a bit of an email and packet that we can send out to you guys regarding the potentiality for grant opportunities for the cybersecurity. One really interesting point, and I think I've emailed everyone, but I will email everyone again and I'll talk about it here. It does have the potentiality to allow for a .gov email domain name, which is really, really nice because it is something simple and it is not necessarily a lot of involvement for you on the reporting side. It's just something that would streamline everyone's efficiency by quite a bit. And so we will be tailoring that and setting it out again very shortly. I think by and large, that is end of our report. We'll just continue maintaining communication, and if anyone wants to reach out to us, please feel free.
Daniel Fair, Reno Sparks. I got a question. How many tribal members or tribal emergency managers attended the CERT training in San Francisco from Nevada?
I wasn't at that one. Josie was. I believe there was 2, but if Josie can correct me, but I believe there were 2 along with this.
Okay. And there'll be a resource also.
Yes, and hopefully we can increase those numbers. Okay. That is the goal, is to get some more trainers meetings set up in different regions so that we can have more tribes come in for it, make it very efficient so that everyone can meet the scheduling needs, and hopefully start really, as I said, building it up so we can get more of them. So it's not just you. Thank you. Is there any other questions?
Harriet, Dave Fulkerson, I just want to clarify one thing on the cybersecurity grant opportunity.
Yes, sir.
On the cybersecurity grant opportunity, this is one of the nice things that we can do because of the nation status of your the tribal nations. You can either go through the state and work through our process to get that cybersecurity grant, or you can go on your own and then you own that grant between you and FEMA. So again, depending upon your resources that your tribal nations have to maintain that grant requirements, please feel free to use whatever's the best one for you, or apply for both and see which one you get. So that way you get the best of both worlds. That's what we want to do, is make sure that we get you however we can find that money for you, either through direct nation status from the tribal nation to FEMA, or if it's the tribal nation through the state, and then we handle all the back work for you. But please take advantage of your ability to use either route, so that way you get the best bang for your buck.
That's a good point. Thank you for that additional information. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Mason, for the report. And we'll close out agenda item number 13, and we'll move on to agenda item number 14. This is the grant status reports. This is for discussion only, provided by Sue's Coyote. The NTECC will receive quarterly grant reports, which will outline the spending status on Emergency Management Performance Grant, Homeland Security Grant Program, and Emergency Preparedness Working Group Grant. The NTECC will also be briefed on the status of current and expected grants. Ms. Coyote, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to take this agenda item for Sue's Coyote. This is Jared Franco for the record. Inside of your meeting materials, you'll find a grant packet that outlines the HSGP, EMPG, and EPWG grants for fiscal years 2019 through 2022. Also, I'd like to make a note of the FY22 cyber and FY23 cyber, EMPG, and HSGP grants will be released, have been released this week. The pass-through letters have been sent to FEMA, so the applications that were submitted for these grants will be released and sent to you all for spending. Pending any questions, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions for Mr. Franco?
Harriet, Dave Fulkerson.
Yes,
I
sir.
gotta give some kind of comment every time somebody else talks. This grant report is good, not only so that way you can hold us accountable and see where that different money is being spent. It's also a good thing because every grant is listed in there that we have. So you can see what other people are doing. And so you can flip through this and kind of use it as a menu of things that, we don't do that. Maybe we should be doing that. Or that's a good idea. I should see if we can get money for that same process. And the state's method that we prefer is you work through our tribal liaisons and and let us know what you need. And so that way we can roll that all up into a Homeland Security grant and do all the back work for you. So that way you don't have to worry about the back work of obtaining those grants. We want to take that off your plate. But this is a great document to see what's other people are using those funds for, to see if there's an opportunity for your tribe to do similar.
And just to piggyback off Chief's, now that he gave me an idea from his comment, this is the last year of the HSGP grants for sustains. And next grant cycle will all be competitive. So it'll be a good time to submit application to become part of the strategic plan for the next 3 years. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, I should have said that during the NRAC update, ma'am. We did decide, the recommendation was made to me, to next year, all Homeland Security grants will be competitive for 1 year. That way we can kind of reboot the system. And that's where I think the partnership between the state and the tribes really comes into play there, is because we're going to have a little more bargaining chip power as a group when we start looking at using those funds. Nevada only gets $4 million of Homeland Security funds. Clark County alone gets $4 million to the Clark County urban area. And so the state gets 8 total, but we only have 4 for everybody outside of Clark County. And so it gets very competitive as we go through that process. So the more work we can do together on meeting everyone's needs, the better off we'll be. Just reach out to your tribal liaisons.
Thank you both for that. I apologize for the construction noise. It is really loud here. I'm very sorry. Are there any other questions for Mr. Franco or for Chief?
One point for the record.
Yes, sir.
Item number 4 is briefed under Cybersecurity Task Force has allocated all the funds. So are there still cybersecurity grant funding available for currently that have not been allocated?
From the state side, no, we allocated both years that have been open to us. Now the feds are opening up for the tribal nations, so that would be the tribes going directly to FEMA. However, we'll get a 3rd year of the grants coming to the state for us to distribute probably 8-9 months from now.
Yeah, cool.
And then so that's where you need to take the 2 bites of the apple.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you for that. All right. Any final questions before we move on? Okay. We will close out agenda item number 14 and move on to agenda item number 15. This is public comment. This is for discussion only. No action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item of the agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included on the agenda as an item, excuse me, upon which action may be taken. Public comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person at the discretion of the chair. Comments will not be restricted based on viewpoint. To provide testimony during this period of public comment via telephone, please call in anytime after 8:30 on the day of the meeting by dialing 1-669-219-2599. When prompted to provide the meeting ID, please enter 686-738-8625 and then press pound. When prompted for a participant ID, please press pound. When asked to provide the public comment, please press *6 to unmute your phone and *6 again when your comments are complete. Please be advised that the YouTube stream will be between 60 and 90 seconds behind the live meeting. If you would like to present public comment, please call in using the above number to hear the meeting live. While we wait for the lag time to catch up, are there any public comments? I see there's one from Miss Desiree.
Hi, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So my name is Desiree Mattice. I am a lieutenant with Department of Public Safety, but also the director for the Nevada Threat Analysis Center. I wanted to just introduce myself. One of the things that I've recognized is that we have not had a lot of direct communication with our tribal and territorial partners that are within the state. And I wanted to just kind of reach out and put that information out there. I have been working directly with Chief Fogerson regarding some of the current events and briefings and stuff with all of the happenings that are happening around the world and within our homeland. But I wanted to just reach out and advise that not only are we working with Chief Fogerson and the DEM partners that are within our current building, but also across the state. And one of the things that we do potentially provide as requested is assistance within our tribal and territorial areas across the state with information, whether it be concerns that are happening across the state that are similar with the terrorism side, or maybe criminal notifications that are happening and alerts. The other thing that I wanted to just kind of put out was that as we have seen within the last couple of years, that Department of Emergency Management, when they branched off and they went into the Office of the Military, we also lost on the Department of Public Safety side the tribal liaison person. So at this point, we are also going to be putting out a notification for Department of Public Safety to have a tribal liaison officer that will be linked in. So those are kind of the things that we were looking at this very moment, but I didn't want to take too much of your time. Hopefully I can continue with these partnerships and continue to communicate with you all.
Thank you so much for that information. We really appreciate that. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. Ms. Navis, did you have a comment for us? I saw you had your hand up.
I did. Thank you, Ms. Parker. So my name is Melissa Navis. I'm the tribal liaison for the Humboldt to Abbey National Forest, and I have a couple of updates to share. So we have wildfire community defense grants. The applications are out. They're due this Saturday, November 4th. It's the second round. It's part of a 10-year wildfire crisis strategy with the Forest Service. There is going to be upcoming tribal meetings regarding wildfire crisis strategy projects. So this is something that will be taking place over the course of the next year. The district ranger in Elko, Josh Nichols, is going to be working with me to organize tribal discussions related to, like I said, the wildfire crisis strategy projects. And the last thing is there is a rolling application for firewood banks for up to $20,000 that's available for tribes. So if anyone has any questions, we can provide assistance in putting together those applications. Just circle back with me and I'd be glad to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Are there any questions? Thank you, Ms. Navis, for that update. I appreciate it. Are there any other comments for public comment? Are there any in Carson City? Okay, and there are no comments on the phone or live stream?
All right, this is Shireen Whipple for the record. There is no public comment, written or otherwise.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. I do have a quick public comment. I would like to remind the tribes that NTECC was created for the tribes, and it's a great opportunity to not only find out the opportunities that are out there regarding grants or training, the updates that we receive from the state, from the other entities or other partners. But I just feel that I think I don't know, I think I would like to implore everyone that on our next meeting that we go back to doing tribal updates. We used to do those a while back, and I feel like this is an opportunity for us to discuss our needs, whether it be training, plans, anything of that nature. You can also update everyone if you're having a pod, or maybe you're hosting a training, maybe your tribe needs something. That's what one of the things that this was created for. And I just feel that we've kind of gotten away from that. And I really implore everyone to, on the next meeting, to put your name on the agenda when Ms. Whipple sends out that request for agenda items. Put your tribe on there and just provide an update. Just let us know how you're doing. Do you have any needs? Is there any particular training that you're looking for? Are there any other gaps that you need? Because I feel that we haven't heard from the tribes in a while, and that's really what I want to hear from, to see how everyone is doing, or see if there's something I can do to help other tribes. So I just want to put that out there, and I just hope that next meeting we have some tribes on the agenda that will report out to us. I know I am going to put the Las Vegas Paiute tribe on there, and I'll discuss, any needs that we may have. So I just really ask that the other tribes do the same thing. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you for that comment, Harriet.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Quick point for the record, is there any reason why we couldn't just have on the agenda an item that's standing for tribes, or does it have to be? I know sometimes the agenda comes through and you're distracted, you're busy on some other problem, and you don't put anything on the agenda because that's not on your forefront. But if I had something there, I think it would just become routine to prepare a report for the NTECC and give them an update with 2 minutes or less type thing. Is it against our charter to be able to have a standing report?
It's actually from our legal counsel's advice, it's against Nevada revised statutes. It has to be specific to what you want to talk about. So it can't just say update from the Washoe tribe. It have to say update from the Washoe tribe regarding this topic.
So we just have to lead out and, I guess, plan for it starting today. Thanks, Harry. That's a good idea.
It's a great idea. Would welcome and love it.
Yes, sir. And thank you for that. I forgot that it does have to be specific. Because like I said, I do know that there are needs out there. We have needs, and I've reached out to our tribal liaisons, but this is an opportunity for us to voice those needs. And maybe someone has something that I'm looking for that I need for our tribe that maybe the liaisons haven't had a chance to make a phone call or discussion with another tribe. So as I mentioned, I really, really look forward to everyone, or as much as possible, getting on the agenda, providing updates and needs for plans or trainings or anything that's available. I mean, we do have to make sure that we stay within the open meeting law. So, but yes, thank you for that. Are there any other public comments?
Harriet, Dave Fulgerson, one
Yes,
item on this one. Remember that the purpose of this meeting is to provide advice and counsel to the Division of Emergency Management on our tribal liaisons and how we do business. We have a meeting that doesn't provide advice and counsel, so it's not an open meeting because it provides no advice and counsel, but it is an information sharing meeting that we do once a month, the jurisdictional calls. And that's with all the counties, all the cities, and all the tribal nations. That would be a great place to share that information, because then we're also not just sharing it between the tribal nations, but we were able to share it with the counties and the cities that you're associated with or near to, so that way we might be able to fix problems at the local level before we have to advance it up the chain. That would be the easiest place to share that, some of this information back and forth for conditions, action, needs between all of us, and look at this one as those bigger items that to provide advice and counsel on how best the state can support the emergency management and public health preparedness within our tribal nations.
Yes, sir. That is a great point. Thank you for that. And though, can you remind everyone when those meetings are, please?
It's like the second or third or fourth.
Fourth Tuesday of every, running right for the record, fourth Tuesday of every month. But after the workshops, we took a suggestion of putting it back out to all the groups. And looking at if a different week and day of the week would be better. We're starting to see a lot of lack of participation, and the last couple of meetings, it's actually run up against one of the NRAC meetings, and we lose a lot of the membership that way because they're part of NRAC. So we'll be pushing out our new survey to all of the tribal city and local emergency managers to find out a new week and date, and we'll carry it forward then.
So I wasn't too far off by saying it was the second, third, or fourth.
It
I
might
just
be.
don't know what it is,
It
but
might
it'd be
be.
right.
Correct.
Yeah, first.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So we'll keep an eye out for that for sure. You're right, because I haven't been able to participate either. And so I appreciate that. Any other comments before we move on? No other comments? Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that. We'll close out agenda item number 15 and we'll move on to agenda item number 16. This is adjournment. This is for discussion or possible action. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Dwayne Master, former chairman, motion to adjourn.
Thank you, sir. May I have a second?
Ross Rivera will second that.
Thank you, sir. Do I need to ask all in favor? I think I don't need a second when closing. Is that correct? Adjourning, I mean.
It's my recommendation that you just take a vote to close it out.
Perfect. Thank you. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. All right, motion passes. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned at 10:24. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next